You didn't sign up for this. You didn't sign up for the mind games, feeling sick, feeling like you had issues with your gut, constantly wondering, where is he? Who is he texting? Am I crazy? But here you are, lying next to a man who says he loves you while your heart silently breaks again. There's a piece of you that's just tired, worn out, drained, but you won't admit that out loud. Not yet. There's a piece of you still telling yourself that maybe it's just a phase, maybe it's just an issue, maybe if you love him better, stronger, more gently, he'll finally get it. But he won't. He hasn't. You don't need any more evidence. You already know. He's cheated. He's cheated. Maybe at this point it's maybe been once, maybe it's been 100 times. You've stopped counting at this point. Because counting means admitting it. And admitting it means everything that you've built, everything that you've held together with your bare hands starts to unravel. So at this point you get to the place where you're like, let me just minimize it. Let me hide from it. Let me try to pretend that it's not even here. You spin the story in your own head just to survive through it. It didn't mean anything. He's under stress. At least he came back to me. At least he's still here. At least he's still providing. But if you're honest, he never really came back. His body might be in the room. His voice might say the right things, but he's gone. Checked out. And somehow you're the one that's paying the price for his absence. You weren't always like this. You used to laugh. You used to laugh with your whole body. You used to walk into a room without wondering if you were being too much. You used to trust your own gut, your intuition. Now you overthink every single word that runs through your head. You replay every argument like it's back on repeat. You study his tone like a forensic investigator, just trying to catch the next lie before it lands, and you're exhausted. But the part that hurts the most inside of this, there's a piece of you that's ashamed. Not just of what he did, but of the fact that you stayed. Maybe the first time, the second time, and of the fact that you knew and you still kept hoping. No one really talks about that part. Nobody talks about the self-betrayal that happens when you're with this guy. Like the slow erosion of the woman that you used to be, the way that you've trained yourself to swallow your intuition and just smile through the ache. You still call it love. But deep down, it doesn't feel like love anymore. It just feels like survival. It feels like waiting just for the next time, for the next issue for it to happen. Because the last time, that never really ended. It got buried just under another promise, under another tearful apology, under a night that you pretended not to notice him turning his phone over at dinner. You become a stranger even to who you are to yourself. I know that because I used to be him. I used to be the man who cheated, and then cheated again, then apologized, then cheated again. I used to twist the truth so well that the woman across from me forgot what her own voice sounded like, what she looked like, what she felt. I used to say I love you while lying to her face because I loved how she made me feel, not who she was. I appreciated what I got from her, not who I actually was and who she was. And that's what this is really about, because it's not about love. It's not about all of that. It's about a need, and it's about control. A man who cheats again and again and again isn't looking for intimacy. He's looking for a mirror to make himself look better. He's looking for a reflection of himself that tells him that he's powerful, that he's still wanted, that he's still in control. And when he doesn't get that from you because you're worn out, you're broken down, you're tired of being lied to, he finds it somewhere else. That's the pattern that happens over and over and over. It's never about you being good enough. It's about him never being satisfied. Because the cheating, that's all about his ego. That's all a way to be able to keep him feeling better. It's all about him never being satisfied. The pattern just keeps happening over and over and over again. Like it doesn't shift, it doesn't change, because he's looking to, how do I continue to get what I want for myself? Him changing? Like, nope. Cheating for him isn't a mistake, it's maintenance. It's a way to keep his ego inflated while you're bleeding out behind closed doors. To keep himself feeling better. And that's what keeps him going. Like, what keeps him continuing inside of this game is you. You keep showing up. You keep forgiving. You keep giving him access to parts of you that he's proven time and time again that he can't protect. That's not your fault. You love him. Like, you were taught that love should also include safety, consistency, and truth. And they should. But you're making excuses. You called your fear faith. You called your gut insecurity. You called his betrayal a bad season of life that we're going in. But the truth of the matter is, inside of all of this, it's not getting any better. Because he doesn't want to get better. He just wants control. And every time you let him back in without consequence, he learns one thing over and over and over again. He can still cheat and you'll still stay. So it's okay. Like, you might hate that truth. You want to believe that your love can change him or fix him or make him be better. You want to believe that if you hold on long enough, sacrifice enough, hurt quietly enough, he'll finally see you again. But the version of him that saw you, that was just performance. That was a way to be able to trap you. That was part of the act to get you to be stuck. The man who's cheating now, the one who minimizes, deflects, turns the blame back onto you, that's the real him. And it's time to stop lying to yourself about it. He doesn't even have to hide it that well anymore. Like, you used to check everything. Messages, location, receipts, patterns, right? You were like a detective. Now, you barely even ask because you know what's going on. Not because you magically trust him, but because you're too tired to fight it. You're too tired of all the pain that comes up every single time, because even when you did catch something, it never changed anything. You'd confront him and it'd go back to the same exact thing. He'd lie, he'd pretend nothing ever happened, you'd push harder, he'd explode, he'd turn it on you, accuse you of being paranoid, insecure, controlling, go down the whole list of things, and eventually you just stop bringing it up. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the pain, because you learned the cost of asking questions, and now you walk on eggshells while he walks free. And you hate yourself for that. That you hate who you've become because you become someone who just tolerated all this. You hate that you don't even recognize the woman in the mirror anymore. You used to have boundaries. Now you have survival strategies. You used to feel safe in your own skin, even confident. Now you're constantly scanning for landmines, trying not to trigger another storm that's going to attack you. And nobody sees it because you're still functioning. You're still showing up. You're still going to work. You're still leading. You still smile when people ask, how are you doing today? You still post just to keep social media up, to keep the illusion. But behind all of that, behind the smile, you're unraveling. And no one knows. Because you've gotten really good at hiding your own pain. He's trained you to get good at this. And just like he's gotten good at hiding his lies, you've gotten good at hiding your pain. But I know. Because I used to be the one that was feeding off of those lies. I used to be the one that was saying just enough to keep her close. Saying I'm sorry without changed behavior. Saying that I messed up. Saying I'll do better. All the things she needed to hear. Not because I meant it, because I knew it would work. That's why he's leveraging those words. Because I knew she loved me more than she trusted herself, so she would stay. And that's where the real betrayal comes in. Not just that the guy in your life lied to you, but that he turned you against you. Now you can't even trust your own instincts. You can't even trust your gut. You feel like something's off and you still question yourself instead of him. You see red flags and you still find a way to justify them. Do you see this? Because the alternative inside of this, admitting that you've been with a loving a man that was never really loving you back, that feels too painful. So you stay. You say you're staying because you see good in him. Do you? Because you believe in his potential. Because you know his past and you understood why he's messed up, why he's struggling. But if you're really honest, you're staying because the idea of leaving terrifies you. Because what if no one else ever loves you? What if you can't find someone that loves a single mom with kids? What if you're wrong? What if the problem really is you? It's not. That voice in your head that keeps asking, am I crazy? That's the part of you still trying to fight for truth. That's the part of you that hasn't been destroyed. That's the part of you that knows. You know you were not made for this. You were not made to beg for his loyalty, to beg for the scraps of the table. You were not meant to have to chase honesty and have to work and figure out how to answer and question the right way to get an answer. You were not made to compete this way with all of the temptations of his life just to be seen. You were made for more, but more for you right now feels foreign, feels weird, feels awkward because you've lived in a cycle so long that the chaos you're in feels normal. If you actually had a peace in your life, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Because you've lived in betrayal and chaos for so long, the true love feels dangerous. You've been in survival for so long that freedom actually feels terrifying. And I get that because I've watched so many women stand exactly where you are, one foot out the door and one foot in, one hand still clutching onto the hope that maybe, just maybe, he'll change. And he might. But even if he does, it won't be because you stayed. It won't be because you gave him another chance. It won't be because you forgave the unforgivable one more time. Change doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in consequence. And it happens when there's nowhere left to run. And you've been his safety net for a long period of time. His excuse, his free pass. It ends when you stop playing that role, when you stop taking that role. And there's a piece of it that's going to hurt. Walking away from someone you love is grief in its purest form. You're grieving someone who's died that's still alive. But staying inside this is a slow death in of itself. The kind that happens in silence, in isolation, in confusion. The kind that nobody sees as you slowly disintegrate behind your smile. The kind you carry in your chest while pretending to be okay. You've been pretending to be okay for a long period of time to other people. At this point, you might have tried everything. You've tried to be more patient. You've tried to have more forgiveness. You've tried to pray about this. You've tried to bring this back and pretend it. The late night talks, you poured your heart out, hoping maybe something would get through and he could finally see you, but he didn't. He didn't want to, and he won't. Because it was never about you not being enough and him actually seeing you. This was always about him needing too much. Too much validation, too much control, too much freedom with zero responsibility, zero accountability. He built a world where your heart was the currency that he spent to feed his ego. And now you're bankrupt, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And what happens now? You already know. It just keeps happening over and over and over. That whisper that you've been hearing in the back of your head, that gut feeling that every time it comes up, you keep ignoring, that sick truth that you keep shoving back down, being like, I don't want to deal with this. It's not going away. Because it's actually not here to hurt you. It's here to wake you up. And inside of this, the truth that's trying to speak into your life is you don't have to live like this. You don't have to stay in a relationship where trust is optional and betrayal is part of the regular package. You don't have to keep convincing yourself it's love when all you feel is confusion, anxiety, fear. You can leave. You can heal. You can rebuild your life from truth instead of trauma. And no, I'm not talking about a quick fix because it's not easy. You're going to miss him. You're going to miss the good moments, the inside jokes, the pieces of him that felt real, the moments that felt positive. But what you'll miss the most is simply yourself. The version of you that didn't walk on eggshells. The version of you that trusted your own voice. The version of you that could smile without wondering if it was about to be taken away. She's still in there. She's not gone, even though she feels like it. She's buried under years of damage that he told you was all your fault. Years of dumping the garbage onto you. But that version of you, she's the one who's going to get you out of this. Not me. Not your friends. But her. Like the one inside of you who still wants freedom more than just familiarity and comfort. And if you're still listening to this, like she's already started to rise. So here's your moment inside of this. Not the dramatic walk out, not the scream and the rage, just a quiet decision. One that simply says, I'm done. I'm done waiting for him to change. I'm done bargaining with lies, trying to figure out what the truth is. I'm done calling this love when it feels like war. You don't have to pack a bag tonight. You don't have to tell anyone yet. But you do have to take the next step. The decision, a real one, a tangible, irreversible step towards healing. Not making or breaking the relationship, but healing. Leave a comment down below that says the word breakthrough. This is not a pitch, it's a lifeline. A space for you to see clearly, to break the trauma bond, to stop making sense of his chaos and start seeing truth for what it actually is. Because healing doesn't happen after he apologizes. It happens after you stop needing him to apologize. You've given him enough chances. It's time for you to give yourself one as well. So leave a comment down below with the word breakthrough. And I'll send you a quick video, application, book a free call. If no one's ever said this to you before, hear me right now. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not hopeless. You are not broken. You are not hard to love. You're a woman who's been stuck in a cycle that was never yours to fix. And now it's time for you to break that endless loop, that endless cycle. Let him live in the mess that he created. Let him chase the next women willing to bleed out for him. You're not that woman anymore. You are done. And the version of you that rises from this, she won't need to beg for honesty anymore. She won't settle for almost or maybe. She won't bend herself backwards just to be tolerated, just to be seen. She will be free. And finally, she'll find herself again. If that's you today, leave a comment down below that says the word breakthrough. I'll send you a link. Watch a quick video, answer a couple questions, book a free call. For us to be able to sit down and work on a healing journey for you to help you move from where you are to where you want to be, to finally figure out how you can be free. You've been told it's all your fault and that makes you feel crazy. No one understands you and that leaves you in a place of being alone. You've tried to break free multiple times and that leaves you helpless because nothing you've done has actually worked. It hasn't actually got you free or liberated from this toxic relationship. So you feel crazy, alone, and hopeless. Guess what? That's a lie. Because all it is how you've been raised and conditioned inside of this abusive relationship over and over. And as a result, you've sacrificed your growth, you've sacrificed your worth, and you've been trapped inside of a toxic relationship. What if I showed you the path to freedom? A way for you to actually get free mentally and emotionally from the toxicity that's happening right here, right now. You deserve more. You deserve to be able to heal. And I want to help you with that. If I can help you with that, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a call there and let's talk. One thing you might not realize is that narcissists actually are afraid of abandonment. Like, do you ever notice how the narcissist is the one who always threatens to leave, who always threatens to walk out, but the second you start pulling away, he flips out. Like, one day he's at the place where he's cold, he's detached, and he makes you feel like you don't even matter, like your presence is inconvenience. And next, he's panicking, he's raging, he's love bombing, he's doing almost anything and everything he can to pull you back in. And you're at a place where you're left wondering, like, what the hell just happened? Like, why am I struggling with this? What is going on? Does he love me? Does he not love me? And that's exactly what's happening to you. Like, you got to a place that you became a threat to him. Not because he loves you, but not because he cares, but because he's afraid of losing you, and he's afraid of losing control over you. He's afraid of losing control of the narrative that he's a good guy, that he has a committed relationship, that he has a connected family. And when he loses control, majority of narcissists cannot handle that.